What if I told you Donald Trump has a plan already signed into law to make the federal income tax disappear forever for working Americans? On July 4, 2025, he signed the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, and it immediately changed how every single American is taxed starting right now. Whether you're a waiter, a retiree, a factory worker, or a new parent, this video tells you exactly what changed, who wins, who loses. The One Big Beautiful Bill Act, the OBBBA, is the most sweeping tax legislation America has seen since 2017, and most people have no idea. It permanently extended the 2017 Trump tax cuts that were set to expire, but it didn't just extend them, it massively expanded them. Change number 1. The top marginal income tax rate dropped from 39.6% to 37%. Change 2. The standard deduction for single filers jumped to $16,100. That's the amount you earn completely tax-free. Married couples filing jointly get $32,200, exactly double. That is over $30,000 of household income that does not tax. And the SALT cap, your state and local tax deduction, quadrupled from $10,000 to $40,000 for anyone earning under $500,000 a year. If you own a home in New York, California, New Jersey, and pay significant property and state income taxes, this change alone could save you thousands of dollars. So that's the foundation: lower top rates, dramatically higher standard deductions, and a quadrupled SALT cap. But those are just the base changes. Because on top of those structural changes, the OBBBA went further. It took entire categories of income and said, these are no longer taxed at all. Tips, overtime pay, Social Security benefits, and a special senior bonus deduction for separate types of income with new federal tax exemptions. Exemption 1. No tax on tips. If you work in a service profession and earn gratuities, you now qualify for a $25,000 write-off. The income limit is $150,000 for single filers, $300,000 for married couples. If you're a bartender, barber, this is real. Example: a server earning $18,000 in tips annually, in the 22% bracket, would save roughly $3,960. Exemption 2. No tax on overtime. Hourly workers are now exempt from federal income tax on overtime pay up to $12,500. Married couples get double $25,000 in overtime income, completely exempt from federal tax. That's a powerful incentive to work more. Stop. Because what I'm about to tell you is the single biggest financial change for anyone over 65 and for adult children who help support aging parents. OBBBA eliminated all federal income tax on Social Security benefits. Every dollar seniors receive from Social Security is now completely tax-free. Before this law, up to 85% of your Social Security benefit could be taxed for a typical retiree collecting $20,000 a year. And there's more. Anyone 65 and older also receives an additional $6,000 deduction on top of the standard deduction. A single senior has a $22,100 deduction shield before paying a cent in income tax, plus zero tax on all Social Security income. Rapid recap: $25,000 tip exemption, up to $25,000 overtime exemption for married couples. Here's the question that cuts to the heart of everything. If you're eliminating income taxes for millions of Americans, where does the government get its money? Before we get to the tariff strategy, there's one more provision in this law you need to know about. Established under Section 70,204 of the OBBBA, starting July 4, 2026, the federal government makes a one-time $1,000 deposit into an investment account for every eligible child born in America. Based on historical market returns, that $1,000 could realistically grow to $5,000 or more by the time the child is 18. The account is locked until the child turns 18. No early withdrawals. It's a forced long-term investment, and regardless of politics. Critics call it a political naming exercise. Supporters call it generational wealth building. My take as a financial educator: the mechanism is sound. Here's the master strategy behind everything we've discussed. Trump's stated goal is to fund the entire federal government, not through income taxes. In April 2025, Trump issued what he called Liberation Day tariffs, raising the effective U.S. tariff rate to roughly 27%. Trump has specifically said that tariff revenues could eventually replace income taxes for everyone earning under $200,000 a year. Economists across the political spectrum, left, right, and center, have called this mathematically impossible. Federal income tax generates $2 trillion annually. Here is the most important point in this entire video. Tariffs are not paid by China, not by foreign countries. Tariffs are paid by American businesses. Reports project middle-income Americans will pay an average of $900 more in 2026 due to tariff-driven price increases across goods. So here's the uncomfortable tension in this plan. The law gives you tax savings with one hand and takes money back through higher prices with the other. Let me be straight with you. As a financial educator, the tax cuts are real and documented. The tariff costs are also real and documented. For a single service worker making $55,000 with $20,000 in tips, the combined tax savings could easily exceed $4,000. But before you fully bank on the tariff side of this strategy, you need to know what happened in February 2026. In February 2026, the Supreme Court ruled in Learning Resources, Inc. versus Trump that the administration's use of emergency powers under EBBBA. EBBBA is the Emergency Economic Powers Law Trump had been using to justify the tariffs without traditional congressional approval. The court said, you can't do that. The tariffs themselves haven't collapsed. The administration is still maintaining the high tariff levels under the new legal authority, but the ruling created legal vulnerability. Simultaneously, the administration has dramatically cut IRS enforcement operations, fewer agents, fewer audits, less tax law compliance infrastructure. Historically, the IRS audited high earners at higher rates because the revenue potential was greatest. Cutting enforcement most benefits those compliance scrutiny. Former IRS commissioners and legal scholars across the spectrum have described these enforcement cuts as undermining the institutional integrity of tax law. Let's put the full timeline together. April 2025 record tariffs imposed July 4, 2025 OBBBA signed into law. Is completely eliminating the income tax realistic? Most independent economists from both parties say no, not without either massive government spending cuts. The strategic direction is unmistakably clear even if full elimination remains distant. Income taxes on working Americans are being hollowed out. The tax savings in the OBBBA are real and already in effect. The legal challenges to the tariff strategy are real and ongoing. Okay, enough policy, enough politics. Let's talk about what you actually do with all of this information, because knowing the law is useless if you don't act on it. Who clearly wins under the OBBBA? Service industry workers, overtime earning hourly workers, Social Security recipients, new parents. Action 1. Update your W for withholding. With the new deductions and exemptions, you're almost certainly having too much tax withheld from each paycheck. Action 2. If you earn tips, start documenting every dollar right now. The $25,000 exemption requires proper reporting and clean records. Action 3. If you're 65 plus, get a full tax review with the CPA. The Social Security exemption plus the $6,000 senior bonus dropped. Action 4. If you live in a high property tax state, run the itemizing numbers. The new $40,000 SALT cap means many homeowners. Action 5. If you have a newborn or are expecting, register your child for a Trump account the moment the program opens July 4, 2026. Action 6. Build the estimated $900 annual tariff cost roughly $75 per month into your household budget now. Bonus action. This is the year you absolutely need a licensed CPA. The law changed to many provisions simultaneously. 6 actions. Update your document tip income. Seniors get a CPA review. Check if itemizing SALT is worth it. Enroll newborns in Trump accounts. The bottom line, the OBBBA is the most consequential change to American taxation in nearly a decade. Whether it benefits you or costs you depends entirely. You came into this video not knowing what the OBBBA was. You're leaving knowing every major tax change, the tariff strategy, the legal battles. Every week I publish a new in-depth breakdown of financial laws, tax changes, and investment moves that actually affect your money, not the headlines. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these exemptions applies to your situation? Are you a tipped worker, an overtime earner, a retirer? Drop your answer in comments.